I'm going to be discussing 8.2. This is mostly for people like Noodles, Andre, Yipley, and Pidgey and Josh, and anyone else who's just interested. I'm not speaking anything here that is as like a fact or anything. Most of it is basic observations and ideas that I've had over the past couple of months, I'd say, that I just haven't really discussed yet. Because every single time in the past, whenever I would try to discuss something, it either wouldn't be very helpful or it just like never really got too in depth or anything. And yeah, so I figured I'd just make this to collect thoughts and see how other people think, and if they have any other ideas being brought to the table. I really wish that some of the tasters of this game were more active, like Hartman and Soig. Because that would be very useful. Even if there's like a kind of a language barrier, because I'm pretty sure Hartman is Japanese and Soig is Chinese. I still feel like what they'd be saying would be helpful. Even if it's Google translated or if Andre translates whatever Hartman says. Assuming that Hartman isn't fluent in English, but if he is, then that's a plus. I mean, a bigger plus would have him be active, but anyways. It's possible that the testers know a lot more than what any of us do, and I wouldn't be shocked either. I mean, we didn't know about QSG until like a little over a year ago, even though testers have been doing it for years. So it would not shock me if they have a lot more information than what we know. Which kind of sucks, but I guess it's more fun to discover things yourself. I don't know. Two other things. Mic quality might be garbage, because headset is garbage. And hand cam is very laggy at a very bad frame rate, because Droid cam sucks. So I'm doing a hand cam just for reasons. Okay, let me get my list of notes out. So here's the first thing that I want to discuss. Setups. If you notice, whenever I do 8.2, I always kind of press down as soon as I land. Like, after I wall kick, I immediately press down. And for whatever reason, I feel like that has something to do with getting this consistent. Because for example, if you slide a bit, then you kind of get like inconsistent heights every single time, and it can make it a bit difficult to manage. And if you go too far out, like right there for example, you kind of like you kind of descend a tiny bit before you unmorph, so then your Y velocity isn't 0 anymore. I don't know how obvious it is. If you go like really far out, it's kind of obvious, but I hope you can notice that. But see, like right there, I couldn't get it any of those other times, but right there I got it. Is that just like a placebo, or is my method of doing it actually helpful? That's my question. And I hope that other people can weigh in on it. Wall kickless, the old strat that Jay did, is comparable. I do believe that not wall kicking is faster, because it does take a little bit to actually wall kick, but your wall kick allows you to get consistent speeds every single time, and with that you can get consistent heights every single time, and it just, overall, it just makes it a lot better. And there's another setup that I came up with, where as soon as you wall kick, you press down right, and you jump at the right time, and then you can do it. I haven't found too much success with it though, but it still works. Visual cues, quote unquote, because I mean there really is no visual for this, let's be honest. So you kind of notice that when you jump in the air, Luigi kind of stays, and he kind of just stays for like a few frames before he unmorphs. And my current visual, from what I've noticed, because I don't like consciously think about a visual, I just kind of do it. But what I've noticed is that I've been letting go of jump when he's like about to reach that peak, and then I just repress it whenever I feel like it. Okay, now I can't even get it. There. Another visual cue that I've had not too much success with, but I think when I told J-Dude about it, he had some success with it. Let me restart the level actually, because timer. So the other visual cue that I had, how am I gonna, because this isn't like something I can explain. This is like an actual visual. I have an idea. I'll just do this on the spot, I guess. Just create a line. There we go. So, another visual cue that I had was, let me make this bigger, is to let go of jump when you're in line with this pipe, with the, or not the pipe itself, but like, when the top of your shell is lined up with the white line in this mini pipe. I thought that letting go of jump here would give a consistent Y velocity 0, which it does if you do it correctly, but it's just hard to manage because of you have to be like paying attention to it almost. I just realized you can't see my mouse, but you have to pay attention to it. You have to like really be looking for it. And I feel like that just makes it kind of sucky. But I mean, if it works for you, then I guess it works. Me personally, the visual that I explained earlier works best for me. And also, just as like a side note, Noodles told me that I would have never considered this, so I'm glad he said something about it. But it's faster to like land farther away than it is to be super up close, which is why recently I've been doing a little bit of a turn back after I get the space jump, Assuming I can get the space jump. Like right there. And then that makes it so you don't brush on the wall, you can accelerate faster. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Would have never thought of that. So thank you, Noodles. So, inconsistent heights. I feel like that different heights give different results in some areas. Because the thing is, since your Y velocity needs to be exactly 0, sometimes you can get to a height where it's completely impossible to get to Y velocity 0, which is what I was but what I was saying before, which is why I don't like go super far out or anything. I like to just stay close to the pipe, because I feel like, and this could totally be wrong, but I feel like doing like the same exact inputs every single time gives the exact same result. And you know, that would make sense, but since with Noodles' setup, and most commonly with the majority of setups where you slide on the ground, I feel like that gives different heights in some cases. Or maybe like different speeds on the ground, which give you a tiny bit of different height. Meanwhile with this, you're always pressing down as soon as you land. Which is why I can get it every single time, because I'm doing it essentially exactly the same every single time. And I feel, I've always felt like that had something to do with it, but I really only told Wallace about it, because I didn't think of it much, but I figured I'd throw that up, because I feel like that might have something to do with it. See, like, right there. I feel like my method of doing it in some way is better. But, you know, again, this is just me throwing out ideas. I don't expect any of this to be accurate. I'm just throwing out ideas based on observations and coming up with assumptions based off that. Like, I don't... Basically, what I'm just trying to say is I just want more people to be consistent with this. It makes me kind of sad that I'm the only one that's really consistent at it. Noodles is pretty consistent at it, but he's not like, come on, you saw that. You've seen the consistency throughout the video. You know that I'm fairly decent at Fast D2, but Noodles and Yipley are like the only two other contenders for that title, and they're not really too close. And other people like Pidgey and Josh, they can rarely ever get it. And it just kind of disappoints me, because I can't explain what they're doing wrong. I can only say, like, your Y velocity wasn't 0 there, which is why you didn't get the space jump. So then the next question would be, well, how do I get to Y velocity 0? Which I can't answer, because I don't know. This trick for me has always been just like, you just do it. And I really wish that it wasn't like that. I really wish that I could explain what I'm doing, but I really can't. Which is why I am glad that I randomly was just like, hey, let me do this. And hopefully that maybe I could help someone out, like Pidgey or Josh, or even Noodles, maybe Yipley, maybe Andre, maybe Jaded. I don't expect any of this to, like, be like a breakthrough in space jumps or something. I just wanted to explain my thinking with facts in logic, as they say. And okay, I suck. There we go. That's basically it. Thank you for listening, and I hope that this might be helpful. And again, if any other ideas are thought of, it'd be nice to hear, especially from Andre. I'm wondering what he's coming up with. Arguably, he's the smartest one of the community, and he could probably think of something to make this make a bit more sense, or something that's even more accurate than what I'm describing. And I feel like that would also be very helpful. Another thing that would be helpful as well is if I had the input display like what Josh has, but sadly I don't. So this is about as good as I could possibly do. And yeah, again, thank you for listening to my thoughts.